Welcome everyone to this Memorial Day weekend edition of Bogart on Movies. We here at WXEL salute all the men and women who died fighting for this great country. In that vein, we're going to look at two huge historical epics about war heroes, both here and abroad. For my classic pick, it's one of the most enduring and possibly the greatest epic film ever made. It's David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia, which, by the way, has just been restored and it's out on DVD, and it's absolutely gorgeous. For my real pick, another huge historical epic, George C. Scott's Oscar-winning depiction of George S. Patton in, of course, Patton. We'll also have Carla's Campy Pics plus your emails, so let's get to it. This week, two blockbusters finally made their way to the theater. The first we'll look at is Baz Luhrmann's stunning depiction of the F. Scott Fitzgerald classic novel, The Great Gatsby.
New York, 1922. The tempo of the city had changed sharply. The buildings were higher. The parties were bigger. The morals were looser and the liquor was cheaper. The restlessness approached hysteria.
Shall we?
Who is this Gatsby?
Do you know him?
War hero.
Mr. Gatsby doesn't exist.
Gatsby? What Gatsby?
I beg your pardon. Mr. Gatsby would like to speak to you. Alone.
You always look so cool. The man in the cool, beautiful shirts.
She has to tell him she never loved him.
I've just heard the most shocking thing. It all makes sense.
Will you come on, Spore? We need you.
I wish we could just run away.
Mr. Gatsby, sir.
Not now.
Now here's a little Gatsby movie history. We all know this isn't the first time it's been made into a movie. It's actually the fifth. One of those was a made-for-TV version starring Paul Rudd and Mira Sorvino. Missed that one, thankfully. Before that, there was the 1974 Snorefest starring Robert Redford, Mia Farrow, and Sam Waterston. As you know, I'm not a Redford fan. And before that was the 1949 version with Alan Ladd and Shelley Winters. Haven't seen that one, but I'll bet that one was pretty good. And the first one was in 1926, starring Warner Baxter, Lois Wilson, and William Powell. The film has somehow been lost, but there is some footage that still exists, and for you, dear viewer, here it is, the only surviving clip from the 1926 silent movie version of The Great Gatsby. That is so cool, just wild. But now let's get back to 2013. I've read some of the reviews of this movie, and they point out that this is wrong and this doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. You know what? The heck with them. This was great entertainment, and I really love this movie. The only flaw I saw in it was Carey Mulligan. She just didn't get there. There wasn't enough life in her performance to justify everyone's lust for her. But the rest, wow.
It really began when I got an invitation from a gentleman I'd not met just yet. Gatsby.
Who is this Gatsby?
Do you know him?
Mr. Gatsby would like to speak to you.
He threw all those parties hoping she'd wander in one night. Your wife doesn't love you.
What kind of a row are you trying to cause in my house?
My life has got to be like this. It's got to keep going on.
Hey, we having a party?
Leonardo Dicaprio is again just amazing. He's not only the best actor around today, Daniel Day-Lewis notwithstanding, he's also the only actor who can actually open a movie. If he's in it, people will go. For me, there aren't enough superlatives to describe how good he is. Tobey Maguire, this was a breakout for him. Perfect as Nick Carraway. Some reviewers complained about his narrative. I thought he was fantastic. Certainly no more Spider-Man for him. And Joel Edgerton as Tom Buchanan and Elizabeth Debicki as Jordan. The big screen loves Debicki. You'll absolutely hear from her again. Both were just so good. Then there's the music, put together by Jay-Z. That's right, Jay-Z. Just blew me away. It made the incredible 1920s come alive. It also brought the whole package into the 21st century as well. And finally, director Baz Luhrmann. This was his movie. He had all the above-named talent, and he brought it home big time. He will absolutely get an Oscar nod for this, although some may disagree. Those first 45 minutes were mesmerizing, and this baby never let up. People, this is great entertainment. The heck with the critics. I give it 4.5 stars. Go see it. Now on to another huge movie. It's the next edition of the Iron Man franchise, Iron Man 3. And I'll admit I wasn't a fan of the Marvel comic book. I wasn't a fan of the Avengers. I was a Justice League of America guy. And I've never seen an Iron Man movie, so I was curious as to what all the fuss was about. I still am.
Where's my flight power?
Working on it, sir. This is a prototype.
Sorry, I just don't get it. That, by the way, was an attack on Malibu, California, of all places. Who attacks Malibu? I think the whole premise of an Iron Man is ridiculous. I thought the 3D was for the most part overused and distracting, and the movie was so boring. Yet it's made over $1 billion worldwide so far, and it's only been out more than 2 weeks. What am I missing?
How many in the air?
13, sir.
How many can I carry?
4, sir.
Slow down, slow down. Relax. What's your name? Heather? Listen to me. See that guy? I'm gonna swing by. Are you just gonna grab him? You got it? I'll electrify your arm. You won't be able to open your hand. We can do this, Heather. Easy. See? 11 more to go.
That is so dumb. That's the best scene in the movie by far, and it's still ridiculous. This movie's all about the talent of Robert Downey Jr. Without him, this puppy goes down in flames like that airplane. Big time. I really like Downey. I think he's a really fine actor, but even he got annoyingly snarky after a while. Sure, there's Don Cheadle, and I really like him, but he's really not given enough screen time to be anything but Don Cheadle. And then there's Gwyneth, as in Paltrow. I am definitely not a Gwyneth Paltrow fan. First of all, People magazine named her the most beautiful woman in the world. Are they kidding? I met her once. She's very nice and down to earth. Went out with my brother for a nanosecond. But as an actor, she's just so boring. And so's this movie. I'll give it a 2 out of 5. I'll be back in a moment with a look at a classic on Bogart on Movies.
America's tribute to those who have served, the National Memorial Day Concert.
Being on the steps of the Capitol takes us back to the meaning of Memorial Day, coming together in grateful remembrance of those who have sacrificed and died for our country.
With General Colin Powell, Katherine Jenkins, Chris Mann, Alfie Boe, the National Symphony Orchestra, my co-host Gary Sinise, and me, Joe Mantegna. Join us for a night to remember.
It's an exciting time, but it's just the beginning.
I can do this. I can do anything.
This summer, PBS is the place for mystery.
An English woman has disappeared from the train.
I'm a good detective.
A single drop can kill a man within seconds.
For discovery.
The relics appear to be those of the Buddha himself.
And for celebration.
You are a party crowd, aren't you?
All year long, support the one place that can take you any place.
You know the old saying, go big or go home? Well, in this classic pick, we are definitely going big, as in the American Film Institute's 7th greatest movie ever made. I'm talking about 1962's epic masterpiece, Lawrence of Arabia. Here's a sample from the trailer for this beautifully restored 50th anniversary edition of the movie.
The English have a great hunger for desolate places. They hunger for Arabia. I think you are another of these desert-loving English.
I've been seconded to the Arab Bureau.
Of course I'm the man for the job. What is the job, by the way?
Have you no fear English? My fear is my concern.
We need a miracle.
They hope to gain their freedom. I'm going to give it to them.
The man who gives victory in battle is prized beyond every other man.
It's going to be fun.
And it should be seen that way. The restoration is gorgeous. The movie's based on the World War I activities in Arabia, a British Army officer, T.E., that's Thomas Edward Lawrence. And there just aren't enough superlatives for this one. The legendary director David Lean, 2 Oscars, including Lawrence, and 7 other nominations. Bridge on the River Kwai, Dr. Zhivago, Passage to India. Real big-time old Hollywood producer Sam Spiegel, 3-time Oscar winner, including Lawrence, On the Waterfront, Bridge on the River Kwai, and a little gem called The African Queen. His producer credit on that is S.P. Eagle. Just a little joke on his part. He spoke 7 languages and became a close family friend. I met him a couple of times at his apartment in New York, and I even got a ride on the legendary Spiegel yacht. The score by Maurice Jarre, Unknown at the time, won for this one. He scored all of Lean's films and ended his career with 3 Oscars and 11 nominations. Also scored Dr. Zhivago, Longest Day, The Man Who Would Be King, Passage to India, Mad Max, and The Cast. What a cast!
Orans, not this. Go round. Damascus, Orans. Damascus.
No prisoners.
Orans.
This was Talal's village.
Peter O'Toole, just phenomenal as Lawrence. All his great work and all those great films, and he never won an Oscar. What a joke. Omar Sharif, Alec Guinness, Anthony Quinn, Jose Ferrer, Claude Rains, remember him as Captain Renault in Casablanca, Arthur Kennedy, and thousands of extras. Sure, this movie isn't historically accurate. There's a lot of discussion about that, but who cares? It's a movie. Visually just so sweeping, so big, so beautifully shot, a literate screenplay, a brilliant, huge, expansive score, O'Toole, Sharif, and everyone else. Steven Spielberg called Lawrence a miracle, and it is one for the whole family. Now it's time for the Bogart on Movies mailbox. Trish in St. Lucie writes, I'd like to see movies on the big screen in a theater, but now you can just order from Netflix and Amazon, even new movies, and get them at home or on your TV set or mobile phone. Are the theaters going the way of the dinosaurs? What do you think of that? Well, Trish, I think that thankfully movie theaters are here to stay, as opposed to the dinosaurs. For the foreseeable future anyway. The experience is so much better in the theater. No kids yelling, no getting up to do this or that so you lose the flow. And visually, take The Life of Pi. In the theater, it was a gorgeous canvas, a different experience. On TV, it would be just another movie, no comparison. And the classics. If you've ever gotten a chance to see a classic on the big screen, it's almost like seeing the movie for the first time. I liken it to seeing a picture of the Grand Canyon and seeing it in person. There's just no comparison. Now to Carl in Fort Lauderdale, he says, let me put you on the spot. If you had to pick one movie and one actor or one actress in the past year, what would your picks be? Well, Carl, let me see. I thought Django Unchained was the best movie, but if I had to pick one movie experience, that's different. That would be The Life of Pi. Now for the best actor or actress, one, first is easy. It's the emergence of the brilliant Jennifer Lawrence in Silver Linings Playbook. Katniss, do you hear me? And number 2, Bradley Cooper, same movie, coming out as a wonderful actor. You can email me, send me your comments and questions to stevebogart@wxel.org and include your name and your hometown. The first horror movie I ever saw was in 1958 on my birthday, The Night of the Blood Beast. I was scared. Watch and you'll understand.
John Cacorn was the first man to be set up in a satellite and ejected back to Earth.
Something's wrong. I'm falling too fast. Goldenrod, I'm in trouble. The jets aren't breaking my speed. I'm releasing the drag chute.
7 hours and his blood is still alive.
Night of the Blood Beast brings you the first creature on Earth bullets cannot kill.
This is fantastic. It's unbelievable. Things like this just don't happen.
A blood beast that makes a dead man live.
Dr. Wilder, half his head's gone.
A blood beast that feasts on Earth scientists. The first satellite creature to impregnate man with its chromosomes.
It's true. I can feel it inside.
The first exploration into living space, exposing secrets too horrifying to reveal. You'll know days of nerve-straining suspense.
I remember watching this, as I said, on my birthday with a bunch of friends over, and it was so scary. We were all kind of hiding behind chairs and stuff. This is what scared us back then, not like nowadays. Now we got something special and a bit different for you guys. Top movie stars doing commercials on TV for everything from oil to cleaners to cigarettes. See if you can identify them and prepare to be surprised.
This is the first car I ever owned. I call her Cynthia. She's going to have the best care a car ever had. Put Royal Triton in Cynthia's little tummy.
Right, lady.
Cynthia will just love that Royal Triton.
When we're on a Death Valley Day set and water's not handy, WXEL waterless hand cleaner really cleans up for us. Just a dab. Removes paint, grease, tar, carbon, ink, even plain dirt. Anytime, anywhere, without water. The whole crew swears by WXEL waterless. And so will you.
Let's get back to that witness again. What was he doing?
Well, he was holding a cigarette in his hand.
Yeah? What kind of a cigarette? I said what kind of a cigarette?
Well, he was, I ain't gonna talk.
I said what kind of a cigarette?
All right, all right. It was a lucky strike.
Now we're getting somewhere. A lucky strike, eh? What made you think it was a lucky strike?
I ain't talking.
What made you think it was a lucky strike?
Because it was so round, so fine, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
One more question, babyface. What was he doing with that cigarette?
He was peeling it.
Peeling it, eh? How'd you know it wasn't a banana?
Because they let me taste it. It was a lucky strike, all right, because luckies taste better, fresher, fresher, smoother. Lucky strike, lucky strike.
Now, how about that? That bit with Jack Benny showed my father having fun as he and Benny did their routine for the show sponsor. Yes, my dad had a great sense of humor. You saw it there. So in keeping with our theme this Memorial Day weekend, my real hit is a look at a movie based in historical fact. This one is a blockbuster, a winner of 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. The movie is 1970's epic tale of the life of one man, George S. Patton.
I want you to remember that no bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. I thought I would stand up here and let you people see if I am as big a son of a bitch as some of you think I am.
This was the perfect marriage of actor and role. The great George C. Scott truly became old blood and guts, that performance winning him the Academy Award. Scott then became the first actor to refuse to accept the award. He said as a protest against actors competing. By the way, Rod Steiger turned it down, later saying that was the worst mistake of his career. You think? Scott's co-star was the wonderful Carl Malden as General Omar Bradley. The Oscar-winning screenplay was co-written by Francis Ford Coppola. The iconic score by 17-time Academy Award nominee Jerry Goldsmith. Look him up. And the movie, directed by Franklin Schaffner, who also directed, among others, Planet of the Apes and Papillon. But of course, this was Scott's movie. Patton stands as one of the towering figures of the 20th century, and the movie remains one of the most beloved films in the last 50 years. As we all remember those killed and wounded in fighting for this country, and those still in harm's way, you can take time out to celebrate this great American.